Hey guys, ST here. So, yesterday was playing Tales from the Borderlands. I know it's an old one, but I finally decided I was going to tackle. There's this one particular scene where you're attempting to dodge turret fire, and I was having massive trouble with it. The first time I encountered it, I died multiple times. Finally, I just quit. I said, okay, this is not fun. I can't get past this. I can't figure it out. I stopped playing. So yesterday I decided to get back into it because I had a piece of advice from a coworker who had played through it, had a little bit of difficulty, but nowhere near the level I did. And he said, well, you kind of have to just listen for the turrets. And I was like, huh, okay. So if that is a requirement to figuring out when to dodge them, that would explain why I'm having the problem, because I can't hear. Mostly deaf in my right ear, partially deaf in my left. Normally when I'm playing video games, I've got it up not enough for me to hear completely, because that then, irritates everybody else in the house, because I have to crank it up, about 5 to 10 decibels higher than normal people need to hear it to be able to hear everything clearly. And I just flip the subtitles on. It doesn't usually cause a problem. But apparently in this case it did, because sure enough, I booted it up, put on a pair of headphones, cranked them up as high as I could possibly go. And yeah, that's exactly what I needed. I needed to be able to hear the turrets as they did their little thing going back and forth. Which frustrates me because, okay, here's the thing. Video games are a fun pastime for me. And when I encounter something that I have difficulty with, not because of my skill level, but because of a disability, that makes it feels kind of exclusionary. This is why I get upset when there's no option to turn on captions. Just little things like that. Or, like, there is an option to turn on captions, but captioning only works in, like, certain scenes and doesn't work for the entire game, and that sort of thing. In the Borderlands series is usually pretty good. Oh, wow, that was interesting. Borderlands series is usually pretty good about being inclusionary. They've got a lot of different genders and sexualities and whatnot. But it made me very discouraged. And it reminded me of, I can't remember if I mentioned this, I had made a comment. There's a video game series that is adding a new mode, auto attack, where pretty much as long as you're just moving your character around in battle, it will automatically attack stuff around you. It's probably not as efficient as if you attacked it yourself, but it makes things much easier for those who have, like, hand difficulties. People who, my sister was telling me about a friend of hers who's actually missing a couple of fingers on one of his hands. So when he plays video games, it gets to be very difficult for him to do all the different. It's on his right hand, so most of the button contortions are on the right side of the controller, and that gets to be really difficult for him. And you can only map a controller so much before it just becomes something that isn't really usable anymore. So, it's frustrating when people freak out about easy modes or new modes or casual modes being added to video games, when it really just makes the video game more accessible to everybody. I mean, my sister said sometimes kids want to play games and it makes it easier for kids to play, and I don't necessarily think that's on the same level, because, I mean, video games for kids are made with kids in mind and their controllers are simpler. Video games for grown-ups that are more difficult to control aren't necessarily the games that, you want your kids to play. Not everybody is cool with their kid playing Call of Duty or Left 4 Dead or, things like that. So, the argument that, it makes it easier for kids to play isn't necessarily one that I agree with. But it certainly makes things easier for, say, people with, physical handicaps, of people with mental handicaps. I know I have reaction timing issues. I move too quickly or not quickly enough, and no matter how many times I practice, sometimes it just doesn't, it's like my brain doesn't make the connection between what I am seeing, what I tell my hand to do, and my hand actually pulling it off. So I don't know. We'll just call that my micro rant for today. I'm not going to talk about anything else. We're already over 5 minutes, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. We got plenty of days ahead of us. So until next time, ST out. Bye.